And we are live. Make sure everything sounds good. 1 second. Make sure everything is good on my end. Let's see. Let's see. Testing, testing. Yep. Yep. Sounds like everything working. Once you come in, tap into the chat, tap into the chat. Coco, what's up with it? What's going on? We're gonna have a lit stream tonight. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We have a lot to talk about tonight. I'm gonna try to keep it at an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe, possibly, right? But this is gonna be one heck of a stream, right? We're gonna break a lot of stuff down. Let's see if I look good on here. If I look good on here, let's see. Okay. Coco says, I be watching most of the videos on replay because I'm grinding a lot of times when you go live. Hey, that's all good. Listen, I rather you grind than to, be on social media, watching. What's going on, Todd? Said love the title. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is gonna be a good stream because we're gonna go over it, man. We're gonna go over all this stuff. Coco, yep, appreciate that. Yeah, man. Listen, yeah, if you out here grinding, listen, I'd rather you grinding than watching me. That's for sure. If you can do both, hey, that's cool too. Young Cartier, what's going on? What's going on? Young Cartier says, been binging your lives. Yeah, oh, the lives. See, the live streams, they're going to get better and better. Trust and believe. They're going to get better and better. TLOL, I'm doing Uber Eats right now, grinding. Listen to you makes the grind more more bearable. My bad. Hey, do what you got to do. Once upon a time, hey, listen. Once upon a time, I did not Uber but Lyft. For World Peace said, "What up, Gerard? What's going on?" Roy G. Jones, older women are played out. Absolutely. Coco, yep, I'd be doing the same thing. Listen, if you've ever heard me say this before, I told you guys about when I made my first 6 figures, right? When I actually made my first 100,000, my first 100,000 literally came from driving Lyft, doing rideshare. Now, mind you, this was like when like Lyft and Uber, just became like big, like popping or whatever. But I used to drive Lyft like day in and day out, right? I didn't have much responsibilities. I wasn't doing nothing. I had a car and, I was just driving. Like anybody who wanted to get picked up, I was just driving and I was doing that day in and day out. And, I checked that tax return and I was like, damn, I made 6 figures, right? It was like 100 on a dot, right? 100 on a dot. But don't think badly of yourself. Don't look down on yourself. Everybody started somewhere, right? Even myself, because I definitely used to do it. Coco says the delivery driver markets be oversaturated. Yeah, see, I got in it before everybody else started getting into it, right? Before it got oversaturated, before all of the drivers start hopping in, right, making the market bad and driving down the prices actually, because back then you used to get paid nicely with Lyft and Uber. I don't know what the rates are today, because everybody's mama, grandma, everybody's trying to do it because everybody's trying to, do side hustles. I'm talking about back then before people were getting on the internet talking about side hustles. Right? I got in like right before it even got to like the peak, right? And I made a lot of money. Adrian Rivera. I don't know what he's talking about. Coco says that was the golden age when you did it. Yeah, this was like years ago. Like I think I had just turned 21, if I'm not mistaken. I may have just turned 21 because I think you have to be 21 to drive, right? You have to be 21 to drive, but I think I just turned 21, right? And as soon as I could drive, I signed up and boom, because I already had a car, right? I remember the car I had. I had a Hyundai. I had a Hyundai Sonata, right? I had a Hyundai Sonata, and that thing was nice. I had the khaki suede seats in the inside, right? It was nice and spacious, and it was white on the outside, khaki in the inside. It was real nice. But no, this is before that. This is before I had a kid. This is before that. Let me correct my camera real quick. It's a little crooked. But no, that was before I had a kid. So like I said, that was before I had responsibility. So I was outside day in and day out. Day in and day out like clockwork. So this is before that. But no, you're talking about Coco. What you're talking about. So there were points where I was in between. This was around the pandemic, right? So there were points where you know, basically I was in between jobs, right? I was in between jobs, or I had just picked up a job and I was doing DoorDash. That's what that was. So I was doing DoorDash. That video is from that point in time, right? So no, never, no, heck no. That was before that. So I think that had ended, like doing the full, Lyft rideshare. I had kind of switched over to. Well, I mean, this was years after that. I had switched over to, doing like DoorDash and stuff like that. When I was in between jobs, and yes, I had her in the back seat. Chad would say, "Yo, after pill, hope you're good, brother. Oh, everything's good over here. We just checking in. We're just doing a little catch up. We're just doing a little, housekeeping or whatever, just catching up. But it's gonna be a fire stream. Y'all come in and hit that like button. Come in and hit that like button. Come in and check in during the pandemic. DoorDash was it. Yes, even though I didn't like being out, like that. But during the pandemic, DoorDash was like this because especially nobody was trying to leave, right? Everybody was panicking, right? That was the perfect time to make some money during that time period. That was the perfect time to make some money. Yep, now it's straight garbage. It's straight boo boo now. It's straight boo boo. You can't make no money doing that now. Not like that at least. Depends on where you at. I don't know. But I haven't done it in a long time. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, should we go ahead and start? Should we go ahead and start? This is going to be a good stream, a very educational stream. This is going to go crazy on the replay. This is going to go crazy on the replay. Says CLE hustle makes around 500 plus on some days. Oh, that's nice. Coco says all the brainwash scary. Yeah, it was crazy. And I also was doing what you call that. If you guys remember the grocery delivery, I forgot the name of it. Instacart. Yep, Instacart. Instacart. That's what I was doing around the pan. Oh, now that was making a crazy amount of money. right? That was making a crazy amount of money. Delivering people's groceries when the pandemic first started, people were, because you know around this time people still had a bunch of money. People didn't know what was going on, right? They thought that it was going to be a temporary thing. So people were tipping like $100. People was tipping $50, right? I mean, the numbers were crazy. The numbers were crazy. You could easily around when the pandemic first started. I swear to you, you can make a cool $1,000 in like 3 days. I promise you. Yep, Instafart now. It's Instafart now. Not really doing anything. But anyway, how's y'all day going? How's y'all's week been? I know some of y'all about to start the beginning of your week, but this is the end of my week, right? Went to work today. Uh, I'll be at 6 days. I've been working, well, I work 24/7, right? YouTube on top of going to my regular main job. You know, I'm always working, but for my main job, I'll be at 6 days. How many hours y'all putting in? I always listen. Let's make this a friendly competition. How many hours you're making? I know some of y'all already said, oh, you out there grinding while watching a live stream. Hey, shouts out to you. Get the grind in, make your money. Make your money. But like I say all the time, if you're not out here grinding, hey, listen, I don't know what you're gonna do because you got people like me, putting in 60 hours. I'm putting in 60 hours a week. That's just on the main stuff. That's just on the main job. But when you talk about you know, everything included, listen, we talking about 70, 80, 90 hours, right? Just everything put together. Yeah. Y'all better be out here grinding because you don't have the option to be sitting around feeling bad for yourself. You don't have the option to be, sitting around pouting and all of that stuff. Right? Alex Glass, what's going on? Working 50 to 55 hours a week and gym time doing fitness videos on the side. That's what I'm talking about, Alex. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Don't you get tired? Of course I get tired. I'm human. I'm human. I just got off of work today, right? I got off of work. I got off of work. What time I got off of work? I got off work around 4:45, right? Had to make my way home, so I didn't get home till what around like 5:30. And then I was like, hey, I gotta put up a live stream for the guys. I got something to talk about, right? I gotta put up a live stream for the guys. I gotta check in with the guys, right? I gotta check in with the After Pill tribe. I gotta check in with these guys. Then I gotta throw up a members only video too. So if you're not a member, go ahead and check in. Right, I gotta throw up a members only video too. So I'm energized, right? I'm energized, but I feel it when I lay down. I feel it when I lay down, but I got a day off tomorrow. I got a day off tomorrow. I'm gonna relax and get my reserves back together, right? So I can finish out the rest of the week. But we good. I get tired. Moan Simba says, "So you got a passport? AP, you leaving the hellhole? Personally interested in moving to Turkey, Indonesia, China, and Japan. So I applied for my passport. So now I'm waiting. I'm waiting. The wait time to receive it. Right. So I went yesterday. Actually, yeah, I went yesterday and got it. So John, what's going on? What's going on? But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I think we have enough people in here. But yeah, man, y'all already seen the title. So y'all have a clue about what we're about to talk about. This is going to be a very educational live stream. So go ahead and hit that like button, man. If you're not subscribed, if you're new here, go ahead and, hit that subscribe button. If you just want to support the channel, go ahead and hit that membership button. Go ahead and join as a membership. If you don't care about the videos that I put up, hey, it's all good, right? It's all good. Just support the channel. Go ahead and support the channel, right? It costs you nothing. It costs a pack of gum, right? You spent more than that on those big bag of chips. That's why you fat, right? So go ahead and hit that like button, become a member, hit that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get started. So listen, man, listen. I have been noticing. I have been paying attention. Oh my God, and it seems like it's getting worse and worse. Moy, what's going on? Moy checking in. What's going on? But it seems like it's getting worse and worse, man. And let me clarify, right? Let me clarify. It's not only the older women, right? It's not only the older women. You have a bunch of younger women out here, right? You have a bunch of younger women out here. They despise men too, right? And they love to throw out they love to throw out, oh, these red pill guys, these, manosphere guys, they're so misogynistic, right? They're so misogynistic, right? They're so misogynistic. They hate women. They hate their mama, right? They hate that their parents didn't raise them. Who raised these guys, right? So you get all of this, but from what I've been seeing, especially these past couple years, right? I've been seeing more misandry, right? I've been seeing more misandry than misogyny, right? And if you don't know what misandry is, right, because people really don't even throw out the term like that because people, of course, don't hold women responsible, right? Misandry is the hatred of men, right? So just like misogyny is the hatred of women, right? Which from a lot of things that I've heard, right, people say, other influencers, I can't say that these guys are real deal, misogynistic, right? Which is, like I said, the hatred of women. You're not, a lot of these guys don't hate women. Now, don't get me wrong, you have some incels out here, right? You have some incels out here who, they real deal do hate women. Now, I'm not talking about those guys. If you know anything about the after pill, if you know anything about over here, we do not condone any kind of hatred of women. We do not condone any kind of messaging like that. We don't condone any of that, right? We don't condone any of that. I don't go for that. We don't hate women over here. We love women over here. Like, listen, nice, beautiful, listen, we love all shapes. Well, not the big ones, right? You can throw the big ones away, right? We don't like the big ones, but the nice ones, all colors, all shapes, right? Curvaceous to slim to petite, right? Workout bodies to the, listen, we love them all over here. So don't get it wrong and twist it. We don't hate women over here, right? But for the most part, I've been seeing more women show disdain, right? Disdain or hatred, you know, uh, towards men, and we're going to talk about it. And the way that we're going to talk about it, we're gonna break down basically the life cycle, right? We're going to break down the life cycle of women. We're going to talk about how do women go from, oh, all of these men love me, right? All of these men, they're in my DMs. All of these men, they're hitting me up, right? All of these men, they want to sleep with me, right? All of these men, they're trying to marry me, right? They're trying to get me engaged, right? They're trying to take me out. They're trying to cash out me, right? How do we go from that to, oh, these men aren't shit. These men don't do anything. Shouts out to Moy with the dollar chat, with the dollar super chat. I appreciate it. Right? How do these men, they do this, they do that, right? We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. So first and foremost, we're gonna start at the beginning, right? We're gonna start off at 14 years old, right? 14 years old. And the reason why we starting at 14 years old, because this modern day time, this is when a lot of young girls are getting started. So we're gonna break down the ages, 14 years old to 24 years old, right? So that's a 10-year span, right? That's a 10-year span. 14 years old to 24 years old, right? So these are the years that young girls to teenage years to early 20s to mid 20s, right? These are the years where they're living it up, right? And yes, I said 14 years old because if you're Gen Z, you know exactly, listen, even if you're probably older than Gen Z, listen, these things have been going on since the beginning of the time, right? But definitely if you're in the social media age, I would count myself, as being in the social media age as a Gen Z, right? During the social media age at 14 years old, listen, girls are getting busy, right? Girls are getting busy. Smash that like button, right? Girls are getting busy, right? 14 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old. Listen, I remember in high school and middle school, and I've shared this before, and I'm pretty sure many of you can attest to this, right? I remember during these times, right, that many of us who were the same age as these girls, we could never really get, you know, some of the best chicks, and even some of the mid chicks, right? We could never get any of these chicks. Why? because many of these chicks, many of these young girls, right, during that time period, they were dating men or young boys or older teenagers that were much older than them, right? So if they were 14, they were probably dating somebody who was 17 years old, right? If they were 16, they were probably dating somebody who was 21 years old, right? If they were 17, they were probably dating somebody, around that same age, 21, 22, 23, right? And if you have your head in the sand, listen, I can't help you, but this is what was going on, right? So they getting, listen, girls were out to clubs. Listen, I remember plenty in high school. I remember plenty of girls who had their fake IDs, right? Their ID said 21, right? They were getting fake IDs. They were going into the club. Shout out to Moy again with the super chat, right? They were going out to the clubs, right? They were going out to drink. They were doing all of these things. They were doing all of these things before men even knew what a beer is, right? Many of the guys, like especially around this age, we're so naive, we're so gullible, right? We don't even know what a beer is around this time. We don't know that these chicks are getting in, they're getting in the clubs, like they're getting invited to different kickbacks and clubs and parties by guys who are older than us. They have cars, right? They have jobs, right? They have money. So around this age, they're living it up. And also around this age, between 14 to 24 years old, right? They're also in their bad boy era, right? They're in that bad boy era, right? So they're experimenting, right? They're letting the gangbangers hit, right? They're letting the biker boys hit. They're letting the essays hit them, right? They're going out with the bad boys. This is their bad boy era, right? This is when they're getting choked out, right? They're in that abusive relationship, right? They're getting knocked over the head, right? They're with this guy that they're on and off. She's called the police on him multiple times. Her parents called the police on him multiple times, but she still keep going back to him, right? This is probably, and then between this age too, 14 to 24, this is probably the time where many of these girls, right, if they're really dumb, this is when they have their first child, right? If they're not, especially if they're not married. Now, if they're married, clearly it doesn't count, right? But many of these chicks, this is when, if they end up being, that bitter, right, older woman, right? Or if they ended up being, some of these single moms, usually this is around the time they got knocked up and had their first child, right? They had their first child around this time, right? And they more than likely had their first child with the Chad, right? Or they had their first child by, Trailer Park Tyler, right? Or they had their first child by Pookie, Ghetto Pookie, and Ghetto Ray Ray, right? They had their first child by them, right? Because they were the bad boy. That's what they were, attracted to around the time. Because Lord knows, like, there were plenty, right? There were plenty of suitable mates around this time, but this is not what they choose, right? Between, especially now, modern day guys, 14 years old to 24 years old, this is not where they choose what's best for them, right? This is the time period where they're super pretty. And mind you, I'm talking about, listen, I'm not talking about the fives and below, and even some of the fives, they can have their pick of the litter, right? They go through some of these same things. But the women who I'm talking about the adjustable sixes, right? I'm talking about the adjustable sixes, the cute, the pretty. I'm talking about the eights and nines, especially the ones who can grow up and be eights and nines, right? I'm talking about these chicks, right? And then everything that they do, right? Everything is irrational, right? If you know anything about pretty women, cute women, top of the line women, around this age, they don't have to think, right? You got to realize around this age, even at 14 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old, and I mentioned this before, you have grown as men going after them, right? So you got to understand what this does. And I mean, 14 years old, that's a child, that's a teenager, right? So they can't, the mind isn't developed at 14 years old. So you got to understand what this is doing to a child's mind. Listen, I didn't create biology. I didn't create any of this stuff. So, that's not, I'm not saying this is, right or anything or whatever that is. I'm just, this is what happens. Right. So you got to realize you have grown as men who are trying to talk to 14 years old, 15 years old, 16-year-old girls. Right. And psychologically, they're trying to process this, right? Because now they're coming into themselves, right? They're developing breasts, they're developing hips, right? The booty done came, right? So they're growing into a woman. Many of them probably already had their period already. Listen, they're trying to process why are men who could be my dad? Why are men, these grown men who have beards and muscles, why are they trying to talk to me? Right? Why are they looking at me this way? So them going through their adolescent years, they're trying to figure out like, you know, these are their shy years too, right? Some of their shy years, like why are these grown men talking to me? Why is this happening? Right? And many of them, they have friends, right? They have older cousins, maybe, some grown aunties or whatever the case is. Somebody ends up telling them the game, right? Some woman ends up telling them the game and communicating, hey, this is what it is, and this is what it ain't, right? This is what men want. This is what men desire. This is why they're looking at you, right? So many of them, they get the game. Some of them don't. Some of them just come into the knowledge, themselves. But you got to realize, man, everything that they're going through, everything that they do is completely irrational because they don't have to think for nothing in the world. All they have to do is come outside, especially during these years, 14 to 24. These are the prime years, right? These are the prime years, right? All the men are trying to holler at them. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to think for themselves. Why? They don't have to tell the man, hey, whatever. Like my favorite color is blue, right? Don't nobody care about that. Like they care about, how pretty she is. They care about how her body looks. Don't nobody care about that. When a woman is in her prime, that's the truth. A lot of men do not care about what's going on in her mind. All they care about, okay, can you bend over? Can you give me kids? Blase, blase, blah. So many of these chicks, they don't know how to think. So all of their actions are irrational because they never had to tap into their freaking, brain neurons, right? They don't have to tap into their brain neurons until, later on in life, right? And I already talked about they didn't want the safe options, but now it's all fun and games, right? It's all fun and games, right? Let me read some of these comments. John says pedos make them make them spoiled, right? 14, we were already knocking boots. Yep. Females never grow up mentally. And in actuality, many of them stop maturing around six. I believe once, like I said, once they really hit puberty, once they really go through adolescent years, many of them stop growing mentally because just like I said, when they're in these prime years, when they're in the years of 14 to 24, they don't have to think, right? They don't have to think because they don't have to do much because there's so many men throwing themselves at them, right? There's so many men throwing themselves at. They're trying to figure it out. They don't know why so many men are throwing themselves at them until they do figure it out. But even still, they don't really have to give much personality, right? They don't really have to give much of themselves because a lot of men out here, they don't care. They don't care what she thinks. They don't care about what's going on in her brain. They don't care about her political views. They don't care about her favorite color and all this stuff. They may ask, but do they really care? No. So a lot of these women, especially when you talk about really, really pretty women or really beautiful girls, right? They're really surface level. And honestly, you can't blame them for being surface level because many of the guys don't care about anything that's under the surface, right? They care about just what's on the surface. They care about carrying or walking around with a pretty chick on his arm. They don't care about none of that stuff. So I mean, many of the girls who are pretty to beautiful, right? That's kind of what they had to get used to, right? So I don't really fault them, at the same time. They just adjusted to circumstances, right? Moy says women don't do shadow work, aka they don't self-analyze. Exactly. Because that's not something typically that they have to do, right? Especially in their prime years, right? And life is good for many of them, right? Life is good. Life is good for many of them. 14 from 14 to 24, life is good, right? They're living good. They're getting all the attention, right? They're getting invited to different parties. They don't have to do much, right? You got guys offering to pay bills. You got guys offering to, give them nail money and all of this stuff, right? Life is good around here. They're getting in the clubs free, right? They're getting invited to sections, and depending on what city they're in, right? Depending on what city they're in, you know, places like Miami, LA, New York, they're getting invited to high end, clubs. They're getting invited to boat parties. They're getting invited to private parties, right? Parties that we have to know people, right? And mind you, yeah, they have to know somebody, but they don't have to. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. We have to be somebody to know that person, right? 9 times out of 10, they don't, especially if they look good. If they look good, they're just invited. So you got to realize a lot of these shit, they're living good. They're not really paying for much. They're going to party after party. They're not really thinking about much. They're not doing much of anything, right? They're not doing much of anything, and this is when a lot of them they rack up much of their bodies. JC checking in. What's going on, JC? What's going on? But this is when most of them from 14 to 24. This is when the most bodies are racked up, right? This is when the most bodies are racked up. So nowadays, bro, 14 to 24, I would say I would say definitely they're coming out from 14 to 24, and I've heard of some crazy numbers. I would say 14 to 24, they probably already have maybe 20 bodies, depending on how lit they were. Right? They can have anywhere between 20 to 30 bodies by the time they're 24. Right? And those are probably rookie numbers because I knew some chicks who they were racking up bodies, especially when they got to college. They were racking up 20 bodies. You racked up 20 bodies in a semester. So I'm actually probably lowballing, right? So we're probably talking about 50 bodies, 50 bodies by the time they're 24. Especially if they went to a lit school, if they went to a poppin' college or something. Oh, what? Especially if they were freshmen. Y'all know what was going on. Y'all know what was going on with freshmen. Fresh meat. That's fresh meat, right? So they were already popping it. They were already throwing it back. They were going to all the college parties, right? They ain't never seen these big old guys with muscles like that. The frat guys, the college football guys. They ain't never seen these guys before. So they're in there throwing it back, right? So really, you talking about 20 bodies? They can get 20 bodies in a semester, right? 20 per semester, 20, 40, 60, bro. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm really lowballing it. I'm really lowballing it. But and many of them during this age, especially now, modern day times, many of them weren't raised to be submissive, right? They weren't raised to be submissive. They weren't raised to be wives. They weren't raised to be feminine. Many of them have no clue, absolutely, what the hell femininity is, right? Rory Calhoun said 20 bodies per semester at ASU. That's what I'm exactly at ASU. I was going crazy at ASU. ASU, you talking about sugar daddy galore over there? They're definitely racking up 20 bodies easily semester, easily. And many of them, like I was just saying, many of them they don't have a clue what femininity is. They don't have a clue what it means to be submissive. These are the important years. This is where it matters right here. This is where the fathers matter. This is where the moms matter. This is where the parents supposed to come in at between 14 to 24 years old, right? 14 to 24 years old. But unfortunately, even if a lot of these women are coming from two-parent household, they're also coming from the public indoctrination camps, right? They're coming from the public indoctrination camps, and they're raising them. They're teaching these kids, from the boys to the girls, right? We're being brought up in a very feminized society, right? In a very feminized society where much of the men, many of the young boys are not masculine, they're feminine, and many of the girls, they're being raised and taught to go after it, right? They're being taught to go after it. They've been taught to chase your career, right? Chase your career. You don't need a man. What you need a man for, you can go and get it by yourself, right? Completely breaking down the nuclear family. These are the years where many of them were programmed at, right? Many of them were programmed at. We're at 30 minutes now. We need to start dropping the super chats. I'm at 30 minutes. I'm breaking it down like a T. We're at 30 minutes. But this is where many of them, they get the programming at, right? They get the programming up, and let's get these likes up too. We have 51 people in here. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. But this is around the years where all of them they're being programmed. They're being programmed, and not just the women, the men too. All of us are being programmed at these ages, 14 to 24 years old, right? 14 to 24 years old. This is where it all matters, right? Right? And you can't expect these women. Listen, modern day women, you can't expect them to be wives anymore. Not anymore. It's over with, right? Even if they do come from conservative households, maybe they do bounce back later on in this chart, right? Some of them do bounce back later on. But also, if they were raised right, if they were smart, if the family was really strong, right? If the family was really strong, this is where, if they were smart between the ages of 14 to 24, this is where they got married at, right? This is where they got married at if they were smart. This is where the family married off the daughter between these ages. Now, I'm not talking about 14, 15, 16. I'm talking about between the ages of, 18 to 24, right? And to be more realistic, be more realistic, maybe 21 to 24, right? This is where she would get married off at. If the family was smart, if she came from a good family, but sometimes even if they do come from a good family, it doesn't matter, right? They still get programmed. They still want to delay marriage. They still want to delay children, right? This is where that programming come in at, right? That's 14 to 24 years old, gentlemen. That's 14 to 24 years old, right? Let's see. Uh, Somebody said something about some BBC. Pause. What are we talking about? What are we talking about in the chat? What? Drunk Bun said, John, yeah, but usually a fetish. My two close friends are black. One is light skinned and woman like that. More if you're dark skinned, they fetish you. Yeah, I've already talked about this when I broke down race and dating. Right? I broke down everybody. I broke down the blacks, I broke down white men, broke down Latino men, right? And that is one of the things that I said um, for black men. But everybody is fetishized, right? You can throw in there that black men are, fetishized, but because of this and that and the third. But okay, yeah, that is true. However, white men are also fetishized for this, that, and the third, right? We're all fetishized for different reasons, right? It does not matter. We're all fetishized for different reasons. So black men may be fetishized for this reason, okay? But white men, you're also fetishized for different reasons as well, right? The reason why you can go to places like Asia, Southeast Asia, or China or somewhere, right? And they look at you like, oh, Mr. White Man, over here, Mr. White Man, over here, Mr. White Man, over here, pick me, Mr. White Man. Let's make some whiter children, right? Yeah. But then, a black man can go into these same places, right? A black man can go in these same places, and they looking at them like, yeah, he might put a hole in me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Mr. Black Man. I don't know, Mr. Black Man. I don't know. I don't know. Well, take me, Mr. Black Man. I want to experience it. Take me. Put a hole in me, Mr. Black Man. Anyway. But no, college girls do love the BBC. Drunk Monk said black and white men usually are the leaders in culture and social media and or movies. Like most Mexican and Asians don't have a lot of representation. That's true too. That's true. I agree. I agree. You do see like especially that's what I talked about too. I talked about that, with people like Michael B. Jordan, and many others, that came before them, right? Who was a good representation of black men, and of course white men. They have colonialism and the media on their side, as well. So you know, it is what it is. Bro, can Africans say who are? I'm not gonna entertain that. If you got a question like that, hit that super chat. Hit that super chat. We at 40 minutes now. We at 40 minutes now. So if you have any questions, you want your chat read off. I'm not talking to none of my main supporters. I'm not talking about any people who are always here. None of the members, right? If you got a question, hit that super chat, right? If anything, we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue. And now we're on to 25 to 30, right? Now we're on to 25 to 30, right? 25 to 30. What do y'all think this is it? What do y'all think this is it? Right? What do you think is happening between this time period? Crystal, you're interrupting. You're interrupting my chat. You're interrupting my chat. Interrupting my chat. So 25. So between 25 to 30 years old, right? Now 25 to 30 years old. This is crunch time, right? This is crunch time, right? Like Bebop. No, not Bebop. Who said that? Roy. Last call. Exactly. Right. Last call. Right now this is crunch time. Listen, this is where okay, now they're starting to feel the consequences of their mistakes, right? Now they're starting to feel the consequences of their mistakes, right? Now this is 25 to 30, and I've said this many times too, right? Usually now, man, by the time they're 25, really, by the time they're 25, the deed is probably done at this point. For many of them, I would say from 25 to 28, the deed is done, right? They've already, like I said, 14 to 24. Why do you think if you've met any 25 years old, 20 tongue twister, 25-year olds, right, women, right, out and about. If you've seen any of these street interviews, if you hung out with any of them, right, if you're friends with any of them, bro, 25, by 25, many of them have already experienced trauma, right? They've already experienced the trauma. They've already racked up the bodies, right? They've already had multiple heartbreaks at this point, right? 25 to 30, right? They've been with married men already. They did that in between 14 to 25, between 14 to 24 years old, right? So now between 25 to 30, they've already racked up the trauma, right? They've already, been through heartbreak after heartbreak, right? By this time, they've already had a sugar daddy. They've already been, on the JUCO side. They sold a little punani right here and there to get by in college, right? Listen, they've done it all by 25. Listen, I already told y'all, 25 years old. Many of these women are outpacing most men around the same age, right? They're already outpacing most young men around the same age, right? And around the same age, they still trying to have fun, right? And granted, they still are young, right? The body's still snatched if they hadn't had a child between 14 and 24, right? So the body's still looking good, right? They're still out in the street, so they're still having fun. They know it's crunch time, but they're still out here having fun, right? They still, oh, I got some more time, right? Especially if they're under 30, right? If they're under 30, right, 25 to 29, they still think, oh, I got some time left, right? Let me still mess with the bad boys. So they're still messing with the bad boys, They still messing with Pookie and them. They still messing with Trailer Park Tyler, right? They still messing with the boy from the neighborhood who ain't no good. They still messing with these guys between 25 to 30. So you would think that they would get their stuff together around this age, but they don't. They still don't. Modern day women, no, they don't. They don't get it. They still don't get it together around this age, right? So if they are smart, they're looking to sell to the highest bidder. So like I just said, between 14 and 24, they've already racked up the trauma. They've been there, done that. They've been to the parties. They've been to Diddy parties, right? They've been to the Diddy parties. They've been to the, the boat parties. They've been to Miami. They've been to LA. They've been to Atlanta. They've been to Dallas, right? They've been flown out, right? They done sold a little punani. Listen, they've done all this stuff, right? So they're still making the mistakes. They still letting the bad boys hit. They still going through this little phase where they think they have time, but really in reality, time is up. So by this time, this is when they start selling to the highest bidder. This is when they start trying to sell to the highest bidder, right? Or get in where they fit in, right? This is also the get in where they fit in age, right? 25 to 30, and maybe they have a child, right? This is that single mother age too, around this age where the child, between 25 to 30, the child is maybe 4 years old, right? Maybe 5 years old, 6 years old, right? She had the child young by, Trailer Park Tyler, Pookie and Ray Ray, right? They had the child by them around 14 and 24, right? So now they looking for that guy to, okay, I need a guy who's gonna take care of me. I need a guy who's gonna, provide for me. I need a guy who's gonna pay all the bills. Listen, I'm spitting right now. Now y'all gotta drop the super chat. Now I'm spitting right now. Now I'm not continuing. Now we gotta drop the super chat. Right? I need a $10 super chat. I don't know if y'all can put 2 5s together or what, but we got a super chat. This is gonna go crazy on the replay. I'm not talking about my members. I'm not talking about y'all. If you know who you are. You ain't never donated in your life. Now drop the super chat. We spitting game in here. I got the notes and everything. I'm spitting. And we got more years to break down. We have more years to be breaking down. Listen, this is gonna go crazy on the super chat. I mean, on the replay. Yeah, we pausing. We pausing until a super chat is dropped. This is how we doing it. This is how we doing it. This is how we doing it. Let me see. I should have posted the link to it. But yeah, if you just now coming in, some people still we almost at 60. We almost at 60 watching now. We gotta hit a record, right? We gotta hit a record before you know it. This month, next month, we're gonna hit that 100 watching. We're gonna hit that 100 watching. Hey, listen. If nobody listen, I don't know what y'all was doing this weekend. Nah, Moy, nope, Moy, nope. Nope, Moy. You always in here showing out. I don't want nothing from you, Moy. I don't want nothing from you. You always in here. Nope, I don't want nothing from Moy. Cause we in here spitting. We in here spitting. We at 48 minutes. They know who I'm talking to. There we go, Drunk Monk. There we go, and that's his first super chat. There we go. John said they was tricking this weekend, but can't super chat. Listen, look, we was almost at 60. See how ninjas do? Now somebody else match Drunk Monk. Somebody else match Drunk Monk. Somebody else match Drunk Monk. That's his first super chat. Shouts out to Drunk Monk. Somebody see, we was almost at 60. When you start telling people to cough up the money, then everybody disappear. Oh shit, he asking us for money. Oh shit, he asking us for money. listen, do I gotta go off on you ninjas again? Do I have to go off on you ninjas again? Right? Listen, yep, I'm begging today, motherfuckers. I got notes, right? I'm breaking down ages so you ninjas can replay this and pick and choose. You can pinpoint characteristics and oh yeah, After Pill talked about that. I remember when he was like, yeah, 14 and 24, yeah, they already. Then you can listen. This is to get your male logic right. This is to get your masculine logic right. Right? So when you're really out there in the field, you can pinpoint certain characteristics, you can pinpoint certain traits because now you understand what's going on. Now you understand, okay, that's the reason why she acting like that. Humble G, there we go. Humble G, first super chat. I appreciate that super chat. Right? Bebop said Tap got bills too. Yeah, I got bills too, but best believe Tap gonna get it. I'm gonna work for mine. What I already told y'all. I'm probably at around 60 hours for the week. I'm at 60 hours for the week at the main job, right? Oh, best believe I'm gonna go get the money. I'm gonna go get the money, YouTube or not. I'm gonna go get the money, but best believe since I'm clocked in at work, guess what? They gotta pay me. I'm clocked in right now too. I'm clocked in for y'all, right? I'm clocked in spitting that game. So yes, I'm on the clock right now too. Right? I'm on the clock right now. But I appreciate the ones who did super chat. So we can leave off with that. We're gonna continue a little more. Right? We're gonna continue a little more. Where we on? 25 to 30? Where we at? 25 to 30. I thought I had to go off on people. I thought I had to go off on broke ninjas again. Because best believe, listen, after pill ain't begging for nothing. The after pill ain't begging for nothing. A ninja gonna get mine, right? 6 days. Pulled off 6 days this week. Right? We always working. Then I'm working on something else for y'all too. I'm working on something else for y'all too. Right? So no, we always working. Listen, we not, we got bills to pay, right? I got people to take care of, right? People need things, right? Nails gotta get done, toes gotta get done. And I'm not talking about my nails and toes, right? So yeah, we working. We definitely working. JC got a little bit of dough. How do I become a member? Uh, it's harder. From what I heard, it's harder on a mobile, right? If for the members, could you walk him through? Could you walk him through signing up for the membership? For the membership. Yep, and we're gonna talk about some crypto. I have to drop the members videos. I have to drop the members videos, but yeah, we're gonna talk about crypto. XRP has been going up. Solana has been going up. Yep, but yeah, let's get back to it though. Let's get back to it. I thought I had to go off on ninjas. I thought I had to go off on ninjas. Ninjas being stingy. Listen, I was watching one of these chicks who like to talk about. She talk about, and there's plenty of chicks in the sphere. She talk about manosphere type stuff, right? And I talked about this stuff with y'all too, right? And I may not have talked about it in lengths, right? But you have chicks now that has infiltrated the space, right? They have infiltrated the space and they don't know anything about men. Many of them are not even married. They don't have they don't deal with men, right? They're just like trad wives, right? Trad wives, scam because men are out here desperate and they want wives. So they look at the trad wives. Oh, that's how I want my chick. But I'm watching these chicks live streams, right? Nikolaev, there we go. Nikolaev came through. Let me finish telling this story real quick, Nikolaev. But I was watching her live stream, right? I'm watching her live stream, and ninjas dropping bags on her head. I'm like, bro, like some of these points, right? And then like the chicks, they'll show a little. Listen, do I need to show some cleavage or something? Like, dang, look. I know I'm looking all muscly, I know I'm looking a little muscly, but dang, do I gotta show some cleavage on this mug? God dang. Right? So they'll have a little crop top on or whatever, makeup done and all that stuff, and they talk about the same things, right? They probably watching the after pill getting points, or pointers. They probably watching another channel getting pointers, right? But the difference between me and her, right? She got a little cleavage going on. She got the makeup done and all that stuff. Damn, do I gotta show cleavage to you ninjas? Like, do I gotta show a little titty for you ninjas? Like, dang, golly. Do I gotta show a little titties? Like before y'all cough up the money? Like, what? Come on now, let's get right, man. Let's get right. Anyway, Nikolaev. Shouts out to Nikolaev for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Nikolaev saying, how come women are telling men 18 to 25 to settle down and not even bother getting careers? Why aren't we telling young men to also get the bag? Well, over here, and they're not just over here. Other influencers way bigger than me are saying the same exact thing, right? That was the original MGTOW movement, right? Men going their own way, right? So that movement was, men need to, stop hyper focusing on women. Men need to stop hyper focusing on marriage and having girlfriends and focus on bettering themselves, right? Bettering their characteristics, bettering their skills, right? Bettering their skill sets, right? Bettering their accolades, right? Getting to the money, right? Which requires, more skills. So I don't know who's really been telling that, but I think I get where you're going. I think I know what you're trying to say. So there has been a big push. So as of recent, right? As of today, we have more women. We have more women who are graduating with 4-year degrees and higher education degrees, right? Women are completely outpacing men in that department. And why is that? Because they have basically pedestalized, right? Well, let's reverse it a little bit. Let's reverse it a little bit. So before in history, right? We got to go back in history. You know, women didn't chase careers. Women were bound to the home, right? They were bound to the home, because they didn't have, much rights, right? Many rights. So that's originally what the first wave of feminism was all about. The first wave of feminism was all about women having choice, right? The first wave of feminism wasn't anti-men, right? Anti-men like we see today with these other waves of feminism, right? The first wave of feminism was about, okay, we want the choice, right? We want the choice to go to school. We want the choice to own a home. We want the choice to go and get a job. That's what the first wave of feminism was. So a lot of these women, they stayed married actually, right? But they just wanted a choice to do something else, if they wanted to, right? So you got to realize women back then were bound to the home, right? So what the government did, what society did was basically, make a long story short, we overcorrected, right? We overcorrected to the point where now we're seeing young men not even have the what the word I'm looking for. They don't have the wherewithal, they don't have the willpower, they don't have the drive. That's the word I'm looking for. They don't have the drive anymore to go and seek a 4-year degree because much of the public indoctrination camps, right? Many of these schools, they've been feminized to the point where they've become anti-men. They've become anti-man, right? So a lot of these young men, they're discouraged from going into these 4-year, universities. They're discouraged from going into corporate environments because many of these corporate environments, many of these school grounds, many of these public indoctrination camps, right? They've turned into basically anti-men environments, right? So men are basically going their own way, and sometimes that means even not having any drive at all, right? So to answer that question, I believe that we have overcorrected in some form or fashion, right? We've overcorrected. So now we don't see that many men, going into 4-year institutions anymore. And honestly, a lot of this stuff isn't even really needed anymore, right? Unless you becoming a doctor, attorney, maybe an engineer. But some of this stuff, like if you want to get into tech, right? Many institutions or corporations, they're not even requiring you to even have degrees anymore for the tech in many tech sectors, right? So now a lot of these sectors, they're only requiring certifications and experience, right? They're nowadays they may hire somebody with more experience than somebody who's fresh out of the gate with a degree. And if you've been watching, what's going on with these 4 year institutions anyway. A lot of these institutions, I forgot what school it was, but a lot of people have been graduating with STEM degrees, right? They've been graduating with STEM degrees, but they have not been able to find jobs in the STEM field, right? Which they have. This is record lows, I believe. Record lows of people actually graduating with STEM degrees and not being able to find. I believe it was an Ivy League. I believe it was an Ivy League. I have to look that back up. But many of these guys, many of these people, they're getting these STEM degrees and they're not even able to find jobs anymore. But back to your question, over here we are in a manosphere. We are MGTOW is basically teaching men, hey, go and get a bag, right? The women come with the bag, right? Because honestly, listen, this is the after pill, right? We tell the truth, the whole truth, so help us God, right? Listen, women are not. Listen, I don't know if you a Fruit Loop. Listen, you can go over there. If you a Fruit Loop, you can go over there. You know what I'm saying? But over here, no, we love women. I say this all the time. We love women over here. Listen, I love the softness, the touching on a woman. I love everything from the head to the toes, right? And if I can get around women, that's what I would do. I love being around feminine, beautiful women, right? But you got to understand that the bag allows you to be around those women, right? If you want to travel to another country, listen, the bag is what allows you to travel, right? And to get that bag, guess what? Listen, if you're doing it the legal way, right, which I hope, listen, you got to develop skills, right? You got to go maybe get another degree, right? Maybe you got to get a certification, right? Maybe you need to work at this job for 2 years until you get that experience up, and then you can jump to another company, and now you just boosted your salary by 30%, by 40%, right? So I try my best to because I'm no longer settling for the nonsense, the bull crap, right? A lot of these guys out here settling for, right? A lot of these guys are doom, just doom, 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 right? Oh, the world is ending. The world is ending. Jesus is coming back. Oh my God, it's no point to life anymore. There's no point to women. There's no point to anything. Listen, bro. I don't know what y'all on. I don't know what I don't know what you got going on, but I'm gonna go get the bag. I'm gonna go do what's best for myself. Listen, Jesus can come back. Listen, Jesus, I was at work. You want me to finish? You want me to finish the clock? You want me to clock out right now, or can I go back and finish? Jesus gonna be like, you know what? Go and get that bag. You know what? Go and get that bag. I understand. You meet me right back here. The staircase will be right here when you get back. Go and finish your shift, and then you can come back and see me so we can get to heaven real quick. You dig what I'm saying, right? But a lot of a lot of men out here, they don't want to get the bag. They gave up on life. They don't want to do anything. Listen, I don't know about those guys, but Nikolaev, I have seen a big push, that has prioritized women, right, and not prioritize men because they kind of overcorrected, and now it's kind of looking like there's no return, right? It's kind of looking like there's no return. Men have to do it themselves at this point. We're not going back. The cat's out the bag, right? The cat's out the bag at this point. They've let it go. They let it go too far. So we here. We here. But anyway, let's get back to it, man. I had to go on that little rant. I know y'all love those rants, right? Y'all love those rants. Let me see. Catch up on some of these comments. Catching on some of these comments. Okay, y'all just chatting in the chat. JC, somebody get JC right. I think Moy's on. I think somebody already answered you, JC. Just basically, if you get a computer, phone, right, just hit join. If you tap on more, and it says become a member, right, in the description. It says become a member. Just hit that link in there and it should take you to it. If not, your best bet is to do it on desktop, right? If you're on, most of y'all probably on mobile, but hit that link to become a member. But anyway, let's get back to it, man. I appreciate everybody's super chat. I appreciate everybody's super chat. But anyway, so 25 to 30, right? Like I was saying, right? This is crunch time, right? This is crunch time. A lot of them are still having fun, right? This is around the time that if they smart, they know that they need to get married right now. If they smart, they know that they need a dude to snatch them up right now, right? This is also 25 to 30, believe it or not. A lot of them do get desperate around 25 to 30, right? Because this is when 25 to 30, listen, I'm 28. I had a dude, actually a few dudes who were like 21, 22, 23, right? They call me old. Can you believe it? I'm still looking at ninjas like, dang, these ninjas old. But these young ninjas, they had the nerve, 21, 22, 23. I'm OG now. I'm like, what? No, this can't be. This can't be. I'm OG now. I'm an old head now. What's going on? Right? I'm not young anymore. So you got the 21, 22, 23 year olds. They calling me old head now. Right? They calling me old head. So you got to realize 25, this is when women realize like, oh crap, I'm 5 years to 30. Right? See, women honestly, they're always aware of their biological clock, whether they want to admit it or not, right? Whether they want to admit it or not, they're always aware of their biological clock. And at 25 years old, this is when they realize, oh shit, we're almost 30, right? Because they're almost there. They're halfway to 30. So by this time they're looking like, okay, I've been at these parties, I've been with Chad, I've been with Pookie, I've been with Ray Ray, I've been with all these guys. None of these guys have committed. And also this is around that 25 to 30. This is when they try to go celibate right here, right? They try to go celibate around 25 to 30. This is when they try to hit guys over the head with the 6 month rule, right? They try to hit guys over the head with, listen, if you're dating a girl that's 25 to 30, she hits you with the 6 months, right? She hits you with the 6 month rule. Oh, I want to date and get to know you, for 6 months. And listen, I'm not saying that it's wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying the women are wrong, right? If they're trying to get married and all that stuff, hey, I get it. But what I seem to notice is, if they do go this route, oh, I'm celibate, right? 25 to 30. It really means that they've already crashed out. They've crashed out already. They've crashed out, from the ages of 14 to 24. They've already crashed out. So now they realize, okay, the clock is ticking, right? The clock is ticking. And listen, I need to get a man right now. Like my parents are on my ass. They asking when I'm going to give them a grandchild. This is when the parents start asking where the grandchild at, right? Especially if they come from a two-parent household. Where's the grandchildren? Where's the grandchildren? We need some grandkids. When are you gonna find? Remember that nice boy that stayed across the street? I heard he was graduating from Harvard. She don't want that ninja, right? She don't want that nerdy ass ninja. She don't want him, right? He all nerdy and he work in tech and all that shit, and he's making 6 figures, but she don't want him though, right? He's not fun enough for her. So around this age, they still trying to find a unicorn, right? They understand that time is ticking, but they're still trying to find a unicorn. They still trying to find the trailer park Tyler, who's an engineer who is also faithful to just her and make time to go to church with her and spend time with her all during the week. And he's somehow making $120,000 to $200,000, but somehow makes the time, for her all the time to go out to different restaurants and travel the world. She's still looking for this unicorn that don't fucking exist, right? So they're still holding on to hope at between 25 to 30 years old, right? They're still hoping even though time is running out, right? They know they need to get their ass off the market. They know they need to get their ass off the market, but they're still on the market. They're still looking for this unicorn guy that just don't exist. So they still making the mistakes, right? Tyler, Pookie, Ray Ray, right? They're still letting them hit, right? They while they're looking for this guy, the unicorn guy, they're still letting Pookie and Ray Ray hit. They still letting Tyler hit, right? Because they're still in their fun phase, right? They're still letting the bad boy. And honestly, there's 25 to 30. Since they can't find that unicorn, guess what they're doing? They're trying to convert Pookie and Ray Ray. They're trying to convert Tyler, right? They're trying to convert them over to the unicorns that they want to be because they gave Pookie and Ray Ray their bodies, right? They let Pookie and Ray Ray do all kinds of things to them, right? They went up to Dookie hole. They've been down the throat. He done convinced her to have threesomes and all kinds of stuff, right? Right. So she done been around the world, right? With Tyler and Pookie and Ray Ray. So she actually around this age, she tried to, as a last ditch effort, she tried to convert Tyler. She tried to convert Pookie and Ray Ray. But Pookie and Ray Ray and Tyler, they just do what Pookie and Ray Ray and Tyler do, right? They ghost their ass. They hit it and quit it, right? Or they get into bad arguments. Pookie got arrested, right? Now Pookie doing the bid for 5 years, right? Because he was trafficking dope, right? So now Pookie, that was her last hope. Pookie was her last hope, and now Pookie locked up, right? So that was their last ditch effort, right? That was their last ditch effort. So now they wasted another 5 years. So now they 30 years old. They wasted that whole 5 years chasing after Tyler, chasing after Pookie, and maybe you could throw in Chad in there. Chad is a playboy, right? Chad don't get married. Chad is purely MGTOW, right? Chad just hit it and quit it. He understands that he looks good, right? He understands that, he's a woman, he's a ladies' man. So Chad hit it and quit it. But by this time, they wasted a whole 5 years, right? And now they 30. Now they 30. JC, let's welcome JC as a member. Welcome JC as a member. I appreciate that, JC. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. But now they're 30 years old, right? Leonardo, right? Leonardo, right? But now they 30 years old. They wasted those 5 years. All right. So now where we moving on to? Now we at 30 to 40 years old, right? Now we at 30 to 40 years old. So now desperation sets in. Desperation sets in right here, right? This is when chicks really get desperate. Right now, when around 30 to 40 years old, now this is when, okay, I guess I can get whatever I can get. Right? I can get whatever I can get. Right? So now around this age, they're like, okay, I can't get Tyler anymore. Pookie and Ray Ray, they locked up, right? He doing a 5-year bid. Right. So I guess I can settle for the janitor. Listen, around 30 to 40 years old, now it's just Hail Mary. Whoever willing to catch the ball, it's just a Hail Mary. Whoever willing to catch the ball. And some of you ninjas catch the ball because you ain't got no standards for yourself, right? So you out here smacking up, right? Single moms and all that stuff, right? So honestly, too, around 30 to 40 years old, guess what? Around 30 to 40 years old, they probably already popped out their second child if they haven't had one already by 25 to 30 or 14 to 24. Right? So now by 25 to 30, they probably popped out a second child by Pookie. Right? So she probably had a second child by Pookie or by Tyler, right? Or by Leonardo. Somebody said Leonardo in there. By Leonardo or somebody, right? Jose or somebody, right? Now she, on the second child and 30 to 40 years old. Now she has 2 kids. Now she on full desperate mode. Now she, she's trying to take care of the kids. She a single mom, right? Now she, now in this phase, like she's strictly a career woman now. 30 to 40 years old, strictly career. 25 to 30, she was career too. They were already programmed between the ages of 14 to 24. That's why they couldn't get right. Right? They couldn't get right because they was already programmed between the public indoctrination camps, whether that was the public, institutions of college or whether was that the public grade school, indoctrination camps, right? So 30 to 40 years old, listen, they already stuck in their ways, right? They're already stuck in their ways. See, at least 25 to 30, right? If they were taking good care of themselves between 25 to 30, right? Then, maybe maybe that possibility of marriage, maybe that possibility of still getting a guy is still there if they were taking good care of themselves. But as we know, with the American stats, most women are not taking care of themselves. Most people in general are not taking care of themselves. Most women out here look like Sloppaloposaurus, right? They look like Sloppalopasauruses out here. So definitely by the time 25 to 30, right, they already in full Sloppalopicus mode, right? They in full Sloppalopicus mode, right? And they haven't worked out in years, right? So by the time 30 to 40 years old, guess what? They're not as tight anymore. They're not as tight anymore. They're not as firm anymore. Especially if they had kids, the womb ain't tight. Everything a little bit saggy, right? Right? Listen, this is where we at. So they not as hot anymore. And 30 to 40 years old, this is when the phone stopped ringing, right? And I said stop ringing, STOP. 30 to 40 years old, this is when the phone stopped ringing, right? 25 to 30, yeah, the phone's still ringing, right? You got guys, guys that still hitting them up, and she's still putting the good guys to the side. She pushing the good guys aside, right? She pushing all the good guys aside. She's still messing with the bad boys. So her phone's still ringing 25 to 30. And 14 to 24 years old, oh, that's prime real estate over there. That's prime real estate. So, the body's still tight, the boob's still sitting up, the ass is firm, right? So, but 30 to 40, everything started drooping down, right? Especially if they're not taking good care of themselves, right? And based on the stats, most women are not taking good care of themselves, right? They're eating junk food, right? They're getting fat. Why are they getting fat? Right? Because women who are with prime men, prime real estate men, top tier men, guess what? He has standards. He's not allowing a woman to get out of shape. He's not allowing, oh, you need to go work out, right? Because they know what'll happen if they don't go work out. Because men who have standards, guess what? They also have options, right? And they got the option to replace your ass if you get wrong, right? Or if you fall off. You want to get fat? Okay, I'm gonna replace you with a 24-year-old. How about that? Get your ass in the gym, right? So top tier men, they have the standards, and they have the options to replace them. So if women ended up getting that man between those ages, 14 to 24, if they were smart, 25 to 30, I know that's pushing it, but if they were smart too, right, they'll get that top tier man, and those standards would increase because that man will have more standards for himself, right? And as we know, what we believe over here, we believe in a hierarchy. We believe in a true hierarchy, which is, God, man, woman, child, right? That's always gonna forever be the hierarchy, right? Listen, the man is the head. So if a man with standards, a man who is the leader, a man who, has everything put together, right? He knows what to do. Everybody behind him needs to follow suit, right? And listen, all these years, right? All these years between 14 and 24, guess what? Most guys are not even put together around that time, right? They not put together around that time. So listen, for you guys who are in your 20s, you might as well not even worry about relationships in this point. I believe women should be, if you do, still do marriage and all of that stuff. I believe younger women should be married off to older men, right? So if she's 24 years old, I believe that she should be married off to 28, 29, 30-year old, right? If she is 25 years old, she should be married off to somebody who is around, 30 years old, 30 to 35 years old, right? That's what I believe. So for you guys who are in your 20s, still trying to make it, in your 30s are still young too. Your 30s are still your grinding years too, right? You're still grinding in all of these years, right? You don't have your pick of the litter, right? This is an older man's game right here, believe it or not. So older men are scooping up these 24-year-olds. Older men are scooping up these 25 to 30-year-olds who, still in their prime, the body's still tight and all that stuff, right? This is an old man game, right? Because they have the money, they have the resources, they have the experience, right? They've been through all the life and all that. So they get to get these 24-year-olds. Your 24-year-old ass don't get 24-year-olds, right? Your 25-year-old ass don't get 25-year-old. Nope, you can't. Your 21-year-old ass can't get 21-year-olds, right? They're in a prime, you're not. So guys who are between, 35, 40 years old, 40 plus years old, guess what? They are who a 21-year-old is, right? A 21-year-old woman is. That's who a 40-year-old man is. A 40-year-old man is comparable to a woman who is between 21 to that 24-year-old range, right? Prime real estate, because you're at peak earning potential, right? You've learned all the mistakes. You stack a bunch of money, right? You got your passport. You've traveled to a few countries. You got a girlfriend in goddamn Thailand, right? You got a girlfriend in Brazil, right? You call them up when you about to head through. You got a girl in Miami, right? You got a great job, great career, and you got a business that you building up. Yeah, you in peak earning potential at 40 years old, 35, 40 years old, right? So you don't get your pick of the litter, with these women. So, for you guys who are younger, under 30, listen, you have no choice. You can't compete, right? You can't compete because guess what? She's not even checking for you anyway, right? She's not checking for, and then listen, what's so crazy is at 30 to 40 years old, that is when she started checking for the guys that the techie, the engineer guy who she kept calling lame, who wasn't fun enough, right? He wasn't bad boy enough. Guess what? 30 to 40 years old, guess what? She started checking for him now. She started checking for him, right? They check for you. For you guys, listen, and I've said this before too. Kingdom of Heaven Seeker, what's up, bro? What's up? I guess Myla's a girl. Okay, we got one girl in the chat. I always let my husband lead, but towards the end, I had to control. He was younger than me. I do prefer a man to lead, though. Okay, so you dated younger. Okay. Where was I at, though? But okay, 30 to 40 years old. 30 to 40 years old. This is when chicks start to check for the guys that they should have already been checking with, the safe guys, right? That guy at 24 years old, right? That the parents tried to marry her off to. Oh, John's a good kid. Kyla, John's a good boy. He's going to Yale. He's going to law school, right? He has a scholarship. He's a good match for you, Kyla. Kyla didn't want John. Kyla wanted to go to ASU and she wanted to get her back blown by some BBCs first. Pause, no Diddy. She wanted to go to ASU and get her back blown out. She wanted to get her little blonde ponytail pulled out by by Big Ray Ray. Pause, no Diddy. Right? So her parents, they tried to marry her off to John. Not you, John. Not you, John. But they tried to marry her off, but guess what? She didn't want that guy. She wanted to get her experiences. Right? So guess what? John did? John went on to law school. Right? John went on to law school. He got his bachelor's. He went and got his bachelor's in political science. He went and got his bachelor's in criminal justice. Right? He went on to law school, right? Did another 4 years, 5 years. He slipped up a little bit, but he finished in 5 years. He went and got his JD, right? Went on to work for a firm, right? He had to put in his time. Guess what John was doing? Guess what John was doing 25 to 30 years old? John was working 60 hours, right? John was working 60 hours when he was 25 to 30 years old, right? He was in college between, 21 to 25. Right? Or maybe even 21 to 30 years old, but John was putting in 60 hours. So guess what? Now John 35, 40 years old. Now that same chick who is also 35, 30 to 40 years old, now she checking for him because John got his shit together now. John is driving a Porsche, right? John driving an Escalade, the big boy, right? Now John driving an S-Class now. So now John put all this time, man. Now he's in his prime. John is 35, 40 years old. Now he got his own law firm. Now John got his own law firm. And now Kyla 30, 40 years old. Now she's trying to, hey, you remember we used to stay across the street from each other, right? Remember when we used to play, we used to play as kids? Now she hitting up John. She found John on LinkedIn. Right? Oh, here's John. He's an attorney now. Oh, he's driving a Porsche. He's driving a Porsche now. Oh, he's driving the S-Class Benz. Oh, he's driving a Beamer now. He's driving an Escalade. Oh, he stay in a nice neighborhood. Right? Oh, John looking good. John got in the gym. John don't wear glasses anymore. He got contacts now. He all swole. He was a skinny little quirky kid. Right? He was a skinny quirky kid. He weighed 120. Guess what? John 220 now. What are you talking about? John 220 stacked with muscle. John 220 now, right? Driving a Porsche around, driving the Escalade around, Now Kyla checking for him now. Nah, John don't want her no more. John don't want her no more. No, John, guess where John at? John at the JUCO. Hell you talking about? John at the JUCO. John is at the JUCO with he pulling other 24-year-old blondie's hair that he couldn't pull when he was 24. Yeah, when Ray Ray was pulling her hair, guess what? He couldn't get no play. But now John 35, 40 years old. Guess what John doing? John pulling 24-year-old, blonde, blue-eyed, whatever, curvy, Latina, big booty, ebony, whatever you choose. John pulling everybody hair. John going crazy. John said, I got money now. And that's just how the cookie crumble. That's how the cookie crumble. So 30, 40 years old, now the phone stopped ringing, right? Now guess what too? Guess what too? This is when they go celibate right here. 30 to 40 years old, they go celibate. They like, oh, these men are trash, right? These men don't deserve my body. They go celibate. And guess what? This is when they go to the church. Yep. This is the last Hail Mary throw. This is when they get in church. This is when they go to the church. This is when they turn into religion. This is when they turn to Islam, right? They want to get sanctified and saved, right? God forgives, baby. God forgives, but I don't. God forgives, baby, but I don't. Right? So now they in the church. Now they trying to get saved by some of you simp ninjas, right? By some of you Captain Saver simps, right? Now they're trying to get saved, and some of them do. They got 3 kids now, right? They got 3 kids now. Now they're trying to get saved. Now they're trying to get saved by the dudes in the church, right? The deacon. She done sucked off the deacon, hoping that he'll save her, not knowing that this ninja married too, right? You get what I'm saying? So now this is the last Hail Mary. Now they celibate in the church, right? Now they celibate in the church, right? So you got to realize, listen, by 25, by the time if they can't find no man by 25, 30, the bitterness has already set in, right? The bitterness has already set in, right? The bitterness has already set it. Now by this time, they also probably got deeper into feminism, independence, right? That 25 to 30, definitely 30 to 40. They're mad, right? Because all the guys that they let have access to them, right? They not committing or anything like that. They let them do all kinds of things to them, right? And they were willful participants. They were willful participants in this, but now they bitter because these guys use. Now this is when accountability leaves the chat. This is when accountability leaves the room. Now they're not accountable for nothing. Now it's all the man's fault. It's all the man's fault now, right? They use my body. They listen. I've heard some chicks say some crazy things. They use the R word and all kind of things, even when they were willful participants in all of this, right? Oh no, I was drunk. No, I wasn't. And here's the crazy part of all right here. They say, oh, mentally, I wasn't an adult yet. Mentally, I wasn't an adult yet. Mentally, I was still. Listen, they using all kinds of excuses now, right? Oh, it was the man's fault. Oh, I was at a party. I didn't know any better. I was drunk. I wasn't sober. I was on drugs, or, I was just trying to have fun. All kinds of stuff, man. This is when accountability leaves, right? Now it's everybody else's fault but them, and men bad, women good, right? So now let's move on. Let's move on to the last. Right? We wrapping up now. Let's go ahead and throw another super chat in there because I'm cooking. I am cooking. I'm literally cooking too. I'm a little hot, but let's go ahead and throw in another super chat. Let's go. Let's get it before we get on to our last age range. Yep, John says they be rescinding the consent. Yep. Let me read some of these comments. Bebop said Joy Taylor. Yep. Who else in the gym? Somebody, people in the gym? Oh, y'all getting it on a Sunday, huh? Right? John built up his nest. Absolutely. Right? everyone in here, drunk monk said, everyone in here always have a 3 to 5 year plan and or goal. Bebop says, look, Kyla wanted Tyler from Sons of Anarchy. Listen, what's her name? Kyla let Tyler hit and Ray Ray hit. She let Tyler hit and Ray Ray hit. But now John, he has his own practice now. Now she wanna come back. Gerald Blunt said they will not admit their sin full way. They only admit their feelings. Yep. Oh, Moy in the gym getting it. Right? I didn't even go to the gym today. I need to go tomorrow though. I need to go tomorrow. Listen, let's go ahead and let's go in. We how many were we in? We 90 minutes in. We 90 minutes in. We need another super chat. We need another super chat. We got some new people. We have some new people in here. We have some new people in here. So hit that like button too. Hit that like button. That the like should match the amount of people in here. We got almost 60 people in here. So get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get the likes up and hit that super chat so we can go ahead and tackle this last age. JC, what are all the perks as a member? So right now, so I do members only videos. So I'll be talking about, cryptocurrency, different careers, what sectors you need to be in for the new economy. So I was going to convert it into, basically like a one-on-one, consultation, but I changed that around. I'm gonna do something a little different. But as of right now, it is only just member only videos. Just I go into more in depth about certain topics that, probably it doesn't, do anything if I put it up on my main channel or on any channel for that matter. But that's just for people who want to, know more about, money, crypto, finance, different career sectors. I need to start getting back into putting my workout videos over there too. So if you're interested in any of that, but if you aren't interested in any of that, then it's just to support the channel if that's what you want to do. But yeah, but I mean, you get to be in a community, with other members, right? As you can see, you got plenty of members in here, who support the channel, who support the message, who support the after pill, right? So, just things of that nature. And I have slipped up a little bit, posting my member videos on there, but we're gonna get it back right though. We're gonna get it back right. I just been busy with work, busy with work. But anyway, we need some fresh skin. We need some fresh skin. Listen, I didn't put a number on it. I didn't put a number on it. I just said super chat. I didn't put a number on it this time. We need to tackle this last one. We need to tackle this last one. I've been cooking this whole time. So if you new in here, hit that like button, right? If you new in here, hit that like button and hit that super chat. Mila, you've been in here commenting. I'm gonna start calling folks out in a minute. Mila, you've been in here for a minute. Tell your husband I said he need to donate to the after pill. Nikolaev, Nikolaev done saved y'all because I was gonna start calling people out. I was gonna start calling people out. Thoughts on looks maxing went from a 4 to 6. Thoughts on looks maxing. I believe in looks maxing. I believe in looks maxing. I believe that, you know, and I went into details about this too. I've been even made fun of, right? As you guys know, if some of you probably don't, I work in blue collar, right? I look in blue collar. I don't look like the typical. blue collar guy, right? And when I say that, I'm not out of shape and fucking look dirty as fuck and all that stuff, right? Nails dirty and just look uncouth, right? I don't look like the typical, and I've been in blue collar, for a long time, right? This is just the line of work that I ended up in. So, I did go to college, but, dropped out, went to the military, so on and so forth, right? Never went back to school because I just started picking up trade or whatever. So I always got made fun of. Oh, look at him. And then also for my looks too, a ninja look good for real, right? I always been made fun of for being clean, cleanliness, right? Taking care of myself, eating healthy, right? Just based on how I look, I've always been, the best looking one in the sphere, right? In the industry, right? Or whatever job I had, always been the most good looking one, the most clean one, the most, in shape one. I've always been, so I've always stood out, right? So I believe definitely in like smelling good. I believe in looking good. I believe in, taking care of yourself, right? I believe in, skincare routines. I believe that a man should even go into the nail salon, right? I haven't been in a minute, but I used to go at least, once every 6 months, but I believe a man should go into the nail salon, get his nails trimmed, right? Get the cuticles and everything around the nails, get your feet done, right? I'm not talking about no paint for you fruity ninjas out there, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about no paint on your nails, you fruity ass ninjas, right? What's wrong with these guys out here, man? But I'm talking about, getting it clean, making sure the cuticles are good, getting your hands, getting the dead skin off your hands and your nails, getting, off your feet, because some of y'all know y'all got that build up skin on your feet and all of that stuff, right? So I believe in taking care of yourself. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to get a consultation, right, for a chiropractor, right? Because I work in blue collar and, I also work out at the same time. So I need to make sure that, everything is good. My back is aligned. Everything is good. Even massages as well. Go and get your massages. Go and see a chiropractor, right? Go to the nail salon. Get your nails done, get your toes done, make sure they clean it. Be clean, man. Brush your teeth for you dirty mouth ass ninjas, man. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, go see the dentist, go see the orthodontist, right? That's why you need to be you need to get your skills up for you guys who don't, so you can get into, a good job, a great paying job, so you can have some great insurance, right? So you tap in with, the good doctors and the good dentists and, the good old folks, right? Right? Some of y'all walking around you got plaque all in between your teeth, right? You ain't flossed in 2 years, old dirty ass ninja, right? Dirty mouth ass, yuck mouth ass ninjas, right? You ain't flossed your teeth in 2-3 years, right? You brush your teeth for 2 seconds and spit the toothpaste out and then go to bed. Dirty mouth ass boy, right? Dirty mouth ass ninjas. Go brush your teeth, right? I know sometimes, yeah, you may fall asleep or whatever, but brush your teeth 2 times a day. Brush your teeth 2 times a day. Floss your teeth, old dirty mouth ass boy, right? And take a bath, right? Take a bath. Yeah, I believe in looks maxing. I believe look maxing to the max. Take care of yourself, right? Some of y'all ninjas, your ass stank, right? Your booty stank. You don't be, listen, whatever you use, I hope y'all using a rag or a sponge or something. You gotta dig in there, man. What y'all doing out here? I done seen so many videos and stories about women talking about how you ninjas out here, y'all ass stank when they try to go down on you and all kinds of stuff, bro. Take the soap, put soap on the towel, on the sponge, wash, whatever y'all use, right? Scrub in between that boy. Scrub in between. You gotta pause no diddy. You gotta lift it. You gotta lift the cheeks. You gotta lift your cheeks, pause no diddy, and scrub in between there, right? Scrub, right? Scrub all around there. Get your ass cheeks, pause no diddy. I ain't talking about like that, but you gotta get your ass cheeks. You gotta spread your ass cheeks, right? Get in there, right? And then you gotta let the water. You gotta let the water run down your ass cheeks. Pause, no diddy. We're not talking about like that. Come on now. Listen, I'm giving y'all a little game. I'm giving y'all a little tutorial. Listen, we ain't no diddy over here, okay? Listen, you got to let the water run down there, right? Let the water hit your ass. Pause, no diddy. I got to keep saying it because it sounds a little crazy. It sounds a little crazy, but you gotta let the water wash your ass cheeks for you dirty ass ninjas, right? Get all of that, right? Then you got to get in the gooch and all of that stuff. You got to get in the gooch, right? Wash your gooch, wash up under your arms, get your whole chest, get everything, right? You need get get your back, right? Listen, for you dirty ass ninjas, right? Listen, y'all you need to do it because y'all be out here dirty. I've heard ninjas still got y'all still got toilet paper in your ass. I'm like, bro, these ninjas. No wonder these ninjas ain't getting no play out here. Y'all out here dirty, arm stinking, and invest in some cologne. Invest in some good cologne, right? Invest in some good cologne, right? It don't have to be, something crazy that's crazy expensive, right? Get some cologne, invest in yourself, right? Smell good, look good, right? Invest in a skincare routine. Get your hair trimmed, right? Get your hair looking good, right? Invest into your body. Go to the gym, right? This stuff matters. Invest in some shoes, right? Your clothes. You don't have to go crazy expensive to rock something nice, right? Find out your style. It's a whole bunch to looks maxing, but that's a whole totally separate conversation, right? Young Cartier said, doo doo ass ninjas. Yeah, doo doo ass ninjas. Got the little dang on, got the little the paper top, the little balls in between the butt cheeks, like dirty ass ninjas, right? Got the little toilet paper balls in between the damn in between the butt, stuck on your hair, ass ninjas, right? Pause, no diddy. Moy says no father having ass ninjas. Like, bro, who raised you ninjas? Right? Nobody told you to watch between your ass ninjas, right? Let the water run down your ass cheek, ass ninjas. What's going on? Right? Just let the toilet paper sit for 3 days, ass ninjas. What are we doing out here? Right? He still missing the spot, ass ninja. He got in the shower, but he missed the spot, ass ninja. He been missing that same spot for 4 days, right? And he started wondering what that smell is in the summertime, ass ninja. Like, yeah, it's been stinking down there, ass ninja. The paper been down there, ass ninja. Like the toilet paper been down there, ass ninja, for 2 months, ass ninja. You keep missing the spot, ass ninja. You keep missing the spot, ass ninja. And that dirty ass fat sloppalopicus, she ain't told you nothing, ass ninja. She keep going down on you, ass ninja, right? Cause she dirty too. She smell like you smell, ass ninja. Come on, y'all get right. Y'all get right. Anyway, let's tap on this last one. Let's tap on this last one. So 45 plus years old. 45 plus years old. So they've already been through the motions, right? They've been like I said, they've been abused, they've been knocked upside the head, right? They've been in abusive relationships, they've been kidnapped, they done had trains ran on them, they've been to parties, they've been to Diddy parties, they've been to LA parties, Miami parties. They smashed 5 guys on spring break. They had a whole orgy, right? A whole orgy spring break, right? It was full of women and dudes, right? She went both ways. 18. Listen, they've been through it all, right? By 45 plus, listen, the game is over, right? Like how I said, this is when men are at their peak right here. This is when men are at their peak right here, right? But for a woman, 45 plus years old, if she's not married, if she hasn't been taken off the market already, the story ends here. Right? The story ends here. This is when they're in full bitter mode, especially if they're without a man. Especially when they're without a husband. This is when they're in full bitter mode. Right? This is when they turn into, bitter baby mamas, right? For the divorce Karens, right? Or the Kayleys who turned to Karens, right? Right now they Karens at 45 plus years old. They're divorced, right? The kids are grown and out the house. They can't find another man no more. All the men that they looking for the young tenderonis, right? They looking for the young tenderonis. They're not checking for no 45 plus year old. They're not checking for her. So she old, she bitter, right? And she's well into her career. Oh, she got a good career, best believe. Best believe at 45 plus years old. Oh, she got a great career, right? She got it good. She making a little pocket change. But guess what? She don't have what she really want, right? She doesn't have what she really want, and what she really want is a man. What she really want is somebody to share life with. What she really want is the guy that she should have been checking for all of these years ago, right? So by now it is too late. She lost hope. So by 45 plus years old, this is when they lost hope. This is when they're full on career women because guess what? They don't have no choice. They have no choice but to focus on their career. Why? Because there are no men checking for them. The only men that are checking for 45, let me set the record straight. Okay. If she is hot, now I do believe that there are MILFs in this category, right? There are 45 plus year old MILFs who can be in that hot category, who can be in that hot mom category, right? So they can be used for fetishes, and sometimes those hot moms, those hot MILFs, right? Those kind of women, they've been married to the CEOs, they've been married to the executives and stuff like that. So a lot of men, they'll marry them for definitely networking reasons, and because okay, she's a hot mom, right? She's a hot MILF, right? So a lot of dudes will marry that. Some older dudes, they will marry that type of chick. She's older, more mature, right? She's done with the streets, right? So they will take on that woman, and the kids are grown already, so she technically doesn't have any kids, right? And she's well into her career, she's ready to travel. So sometimes that woman can luck up if she is in the right circles, right? She can luck up, especially if she's in shape. Oh, I've seen some I've seen some 45 plus year old chicks. I'm looking like, dang, MILF. I see you over there, Miss MILF over there, Miss MILF. I know you got those titties done. I see you over there, Miss MILF. Nice. Some you got some 45 plus row who they look nice and tight too. But besides them, which is a small percentage of them, right? Small percentage of them, those soccer moms, those golf moms, right? It's a small percentage of them, right? But for the rest of them, listen, they lost hope, which is the majority of them, right? Which is honestly like 95%. Once they hit that 45-year-old mark, that is over with. And then also at this mark, they also start trying to communicate their bitter old message to some of the younger women, right? So at this age, a lot of them, they're so bitter, they're so hurt, right? They lost all hope that they try to communicate because they had all the bad experiences, because they didn't do right, right? Because they weren't raised right, because mama didn't tell her right, because daddy didn't tell her right. So now they didn't do right. They fucked their lives up, right? So now they try to communicate that message to the younger chicks and saying, oh, this is when they full blown into misandry, right? They full blown hate men, definitely here, right? They full blown hate men. They're probably full blown feminists, right? This is when some of them also turn gay too. Believe it or not, this is when some of them also turn gay. They experiment with girls, and honestly, most of them probably already experimented with girls 14 to 24, 25 to 30, right? They've already, they had their cootie cat licked, or they licked some cootie cat themselves, right? They done scissored, then, they done did all that stuff, right? So, there was just a little phase, right? But 45, they probably start taking serious another woman. So some of them actually turn a little gay, right? Turn a little colorful, right? Start, turn into, they start, licking between the legs, right? I'm just saying, right? But this is the last age, 45 plus years old. No man wants you at this age, right? This is when they start to look back and realize all the mistakes, right? The life is over at 45 plus years old, right? As a woman, this is when you start to hit elder age, right? You have no choice but to focus on your career because the phone's been stopped ringing, right? The dudes that do want you, they low tier men, right? They old. See, these the Pookies and Ray Rays that got out of jail, right? These are the same Pookies and Ray Rays that she used. Remember the same Pookies and Ray Rays and Tylers and everybody else that she used to smash back then, right? Now Pookie and Ray Ray and Tyler, they all grown up now. They all grown up. Pookie just got out after doing the 5 year, not a 5 year bid, a 20-year bid, right? Now he rehabilitated into society. He got him a little construction job or whatever, right? Now he trying to see what's going on with her on Facebook. Look, these are the only guys checking for them now. These are the only guys checking for them now. And those are the guys they don't want, but these are the guys that's showing them attention. So they mad at that too. They can't get the executive, they can't get the CEO because guess what? The executive and CEO, he got married at 30 years old. He got married to the 25-year-old at 30 years old, and she stuck with him through college, through law school, through medical school, through university. She stuck with him, or he found her along the way. He once he could have his pick of the litter, he just picked her on out, plucked her right on out, right? Or he a free agent, right? Or he at the JUCO, right? Or he MGTOW, right? And he just he do his work, he fly around the world, and he get busy. But at 45+ year old, game over, right? They're full blown into feminism. They're full blown into independence, right? Because they have no choice. They stuck in their ways, right? They were stuck in their ways 25 to 30 years old, right? But here, this is when the game ends, right? And that, gentlemen, that is the life cycle of the modern day woman, right? So listen, man, I sat here and preached. I gave y'all listen. I did this to a T. I did this to a T. The replay is gonna go crazy. The replay is gonna go crazy. So if you just now tapping in, right? If you catching this at the end, right? Go ahead and make sure you catch this on the replay. It'll be uploaded to live replays, and it'll also be on the rant what you call that playlist, my rant playlist too, and the marriage, relationships, and dating playlist. I'll upload this one and all three of them. So make sure you catch this replay if you didn't catch this already. Listen. I'm not reading. I'm not reading your message. You've been in here getting. You've been in here getting free reads, right? We're not doing it like that. Mila, go ahead and cough up. Cough up. If you want me to read your chat, go ahead and cough up, Mila. Everybody say cough up, Mila. If she don't cough up, then hey, we're not reading that. Go ahead and cough up, Mila. You've been. Mila says, what does that mean? Which means hit that super chat button. Right? You've been putting in whole paragraphs in the chat. You've been putting whole paragraphs in the chat. I already told y'all about paragraphs. You type in a paragraph, I'm gonna call you out. Don't type no whole paragraph in my chat unless you're a member or somebody who's known in here and you've donated before. Jeff, what's going on? What up, AP fam? Hope y'all had a good weekend. Oh, I've been working, man. I've been working this weekend. Shouts out to Jeff. Mila says, I just paid for my husband's funeral. Is that what she's been saying this whole time? Well, Mila, if you're telling the truth, I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah, wasn't expecting that. Okay. She says she just paid for her husband's funeral. Okay. Well, sorry to hear that. Okay. Well, I guess we'll end the night on that. Shit. God damn. All right. Anyway, shouts out to everybody who tuned in tonight's live stream. I appreciate y'all engagement. I appreciate everybody who super chatted. I appreciate all the members. I appreciate everybody who come in and engage with the chat. I appreciate y'all who come in and treat this like a family because it is. This is the After Pill family. So I appreciate y'all. And I'll definitely see y'all in the next video, and I'll see y'all in the next live stream. Peace. And I got to get up and turn the camera off.